Have you ever been down to your last dollar? If you have, this story is for you. Today's story about a time in our family's life when things were really, really tough. We were at our absolute lowest point, financially and emotionally. But it's also a story about faith, hope, and the incredible ways that help can show up when you least expect it. I remember it like it was yesterday. It was a Tuesday, and Mom had just finished checking every corner of the house for loose change. Mom looked in the junk drawer, under the sofa cushions, in old coat pockets. Everywhere. All Mom could find was a single, crumpled $1 bill. That was it. That was all the money our family had to our name. The fridge was bare, the pantry was empty, and my heart was just as empty. My father, bless his soul, was working 2 jobs, trying so hard to make ends meet, but we'd just been hit with one unexpected expense after another. The car broke down, my sister got sick, and it felt like we were drowning. I remember looking at my sister, so innocent and unaware of the weight on Mom's shoulders, and just breaking down in tears. How was she going to feed us? Mom sat at the kitchen table, holding that $1 bill, and I just prayed. Mom didn't know what else to do. Mom said, "God, I don't know how, but I trust you. We need you. Please, show us a way." It was a prayer of pure desperation. It's hard for me to even hear my mom talk about that day without getting emotional. I was young, but I remember the feeling in the house. Kids are perceptive. We knew something was wrong. We knew Mom and Dad were stressed. The usual laughter and noise were replaced by a heavy silence. We tried to be quiet, to not cause any more trouble. I remember my dad coming home from his second job that night, looking exhausted. He walked in, and my mom just looked at him, and he knew. He didn't have to ask. He just wrapped her in a hug. They stood there in the middle of the kitchen for what felt like forever, just holding each other. They didn't have a solution. They didn't have a plan. All they had was each other, and that $1 bill sitting on the table. They decided they would use that dollar to buy a loaf of bread in the morning. At least we could have toast. That was the plan. A loaf of bread. The next morning, the mood was still somber. My mom got ready to walk to the corner store for that loaf of bread. As she was putting on her shoes, there was a knock at the door. We weren't expecting anyone. My mom opened the door, and it was our neighbor from a few houses down, Mrs. Gable. She was an older lady who mostly kept to herself. We'd wave and say hello, but we didn't know her well. She was holding 2 enormous grocery bags, so full they looked like they were about to burst. She had a kind smile on her face and said, "Good morning. I was at the store this morning, and I just had this strange feeling that I should buy double of everything. I have way too much food here, and I was wondering if you could help me out by taking some of it off my hands." My mom was speechless. She just stood there, staring at the bags, then at Mrs. Gable, then back at the bags. Inside, we could see milk, eggs, bread, cheese, fruit, vegetables, pasta, canned goods. It was everything. It was more than everything. My mom finally found her voice and just started crying. Not sad tears, but tears of overwhelming relief and gratitude. She tried to explain to Mrs. Gable that she couldn't possibly accept it, that we had no way to pay her back. But Mrs. Gable just patted her arm and said, "Nonsense, dear. Don't you worry about that. Think of it as a gift." She helped my mom bring the bags into the kitchen and set them on the counter. The same counter where, just moments before, that single dollar bill was our only hope. The kitchen was suddenly filled with food. The emptiness was gone, replaced by abundance. Mrs. Gable didn't stay long. She just said, "You have a blessed day," and she was gone. My mom just stood in the middle of the kitchen, surrounded by all this food, and she looked at my dad. They both had tears streaming down their faces. We kids didn't fully understand the miracle that had just happened, but we understood the feeling. The heavy weight in the house was lifted. We were going to be okay. That day changed everything for our family. It wasn't just about the food. It was about the confirmation of faith. When my mom prayed that prayer of desperation, she couldn't have imagined the answer would come in the form of her quiet neighbor and 2 overflowing grocery bags. It taught us a profound lesson about provision and community. It taught us that help can come from the most unexpected places. It taught us that even when you feel completely alone and at the end of your rope, you're not. There is hope. That $1 bill stayed pinned to the corkboard in our kitchen for years. It was a constant reminder. A reminder of our lowest point, but more importantly, a reminder of the faithfulness we experienced. It represented the moment we learned that, when you have nothing, faith is everything. We never forgot Mrs. Gable's kindness. As our family got back on our feet, we made it a point to pay it forward. We learned the importance of looking out for our neighbors, of sharing what we have, even when it's not much. Because you never know who is sitting at their kitchen table with their own version of a $1 bill, praying for a sign. Sometimes, you can be the answer to someone else's prayer. That experience shaped who we are as a family. It's the foundation of our belief that no matter how dark the night gets, the dawn will come. We've faced other challenges since then, as all families do, but we always look back on that day. It's our anchor. When doubt creeps in, we remember the 2 bags of groceries that showed up on our doorstep. So why are we sharing this story with you all today? Because we know that someone out there watching this might be in a similar situation. You might be looking at your own empty pantry, feeling that same weight of despair. You might be down to your last dollar, wondering how you're going to make it through. We want you to know that you are not alone. We want to encourage you to hold on to hope, to have faith, whatever that looks like for you. Reach out, talk to someone, and don't be afraid to pray that prayer of desperation. Miracles still happen. Kindness still exists. Sometimes, it's in the form of a neighbor, a friend, or even a stranger. Your story isn't over. This might just be your $1 bill moment, the chapter right before the breakthrough. Thank you so much for letting us share such a personal part of our story with you today. It's not always easy to be this vulnerable, but we feel it's important. We hope it brought you a little bit of encouragement. If you have a story of a time when help showed up for you in an unexpected way, we would love to read it in the comments below. Let's fill this space with hope. Don't forget to like this video if it resonated with you, and subscribe to our channel for more stories and family adventures. We're so grateful for this community. From our family to yours, thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.